So a YouTube subscriber of mine, a guy named Brian Anderson, asked me what did it take to finally get me to quit drinking. Now, was kind of reluctant to make a video about this because quitting drinking, although it's important to me for myself, I didn't really think it merited a video, and it's a little too early to say that I'm quit forever. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't think I'll ever be over it or done per se. I mean, if you're an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic. I may never drink again, or I might drink tomorrow. I hope not, but I'm not going to speak in absolute certainties because then I'm setting myself up for failure. Well, it was a long time coming. Basically, it was not one major event. Nothing, nothing that hasn't happened 100 times before happened. You know, it was mainly just sick and tired of being sick and tired, I guess. I had some health issues, not in the sense that, my liver was failing or kidneys or anything like that. Nothing like that. In fact, I went and got checked out. I got a good bill of health, which I'm surprised, but I did. Uh, it was just, I'm getting older. I'll be 40 in May. So another, what is it, 8 months roughly. Yeah, and my body just doesn't handle it as well as it used to. I mean, I've been drinking hard for the good amount of 10 years, drinking every day. There's only been a few times where I've stopped, and the longest up until recently that I've stopped was like week and a half, 2 weeks. So now that I'm almost up to my month of not drinking, I don't really keep track of the days because I'm not like in doing AA and stuff and going to meetings, although I have. It's not, I don't put a little check mark on the calendar. you know um, I don't view it like that. But anyway, the health reasons. I mean, I was the last few years, um, I was drinking so much that I would wake up and I'd say about 4 or 5 days of the week I'd immediately go puke. And it wasn't like I puked anything up. It was more like dry heaving. I mean, sometimes I would puke something up, but it was rare. It was mainly just like dry heaving, or if I had, drank a cup of coffee or whatever. And that got really fucking old. So when you puke, then it makes you shaky. Your eyes start watering, your nose starts running, your face puffs up, your eyes get bloodshot and shit. And a lot of times, I mean, I was always hungover, but even when I didn't feel that hungover, I would still puke. It was weird. It got to the point where I was just used to it. If I even felt like I was going to, I would just go and assume the position and pray to the fucking porcelain god. And when I mean pray, it's not like some fucking drunk high school girl that got sick and was like, "Oh God, make this go away. I'll never drink." No, no, no. I just meant by praying where I was on my knees, fucking head down with my face in the toilet. That got really old, but and it was just it. I was drinking so much that I could drink the night before, sleep 8 hours, get up, shower, brush my teeth, put some deodorant on, even cologne, and somebody at my work like, "Dude, you smell like you've been drinking," and it was just coming out of my skin because I was a constant state of drinking, to where my body would just sweat it out even when I wasn't drinking, and that became a big fucking problem. It became a big problem at work. I mean, trying to do, it got to the point where I mean, I was losing jobs on a regular basis because of my drinking, because I either smelled like alcohol, I'd show up hungover and it was really obvious, because like I said, my face would be puffed up, my eyes would be bloodshot and shit. I'd be shaky going through the detox and stuff. And I tried to hide it as best as I could, but it got really difficult. Um, it got to the point where, I mean, I couldn't hide it. And as you regular drinkers and alcoholics know, if you're to that point and you're hungover or you're going through detox, the only way to make that really go away is two things: either stop drinking and wait it out, which will take a couple days, depending on how much you drink, could even take 3, 4, 5 days, or start drinking again. And it got to the point where if I was detoxing while I was at work, which I typically would be if I've gone more than 12 hours without drinking, start getting the sweats, start getting the shakes a little bit, hot and cold flashes. The only way to make that go away, instantly, was to start drinking again. So I got to the point where over the last 2 years, I would typically sneak, I'd take a couple airplane bottles with me, drink them in the bathroom, on my lunch break or on my 10-minute break, slam one, chew some gum. And it would kind of mask the effects. But then again, people pick up on that shit. People that don't drink, or especially that don't drink, but even people that do drink, that don't drink like I drink, they pick up on that shit, and it's kind of, it's hard to, in a work environment, it's hard. Most employers won't come up and say something to you like, dude, you got to fix your shit. You can't be showing up to work like this. Most employers won't. Most employers just fire you, in a right to work state. They don't have to have any proof. All they have to do is suspect. They may not be able to fire you specifically for that, but guess what? Next time you're 5 minutes late to work, you're fired. Or they just take you off the schedule, which is what a lot of employers do. So it was just really affecting my ability to maintain work. It was affecting my relationships with people, not only romantic relationships or potential romantic, intimate relationships, but just friendships, family, and stuff like that. People that I associate with online. You get drunk, you make bad decisions. I rarely am belligerent or mean drunk. I'm just careless. I'm a careless drunk, and it makes for good stories and it's funny, and at the time I think it's fucking funny as well, and I laugh and I amuse myself. Drunks are easily amused, especially, a drunk always thinks he's the funniest fucker in the fucking bar, right? But everybody else who's not drunk thinks he's fucking annoying or being stupid, and I got the reputation for doing that, and most of you that watch my videos know me as that guy. um, and a lot of people say now that I'm sober, like I'm more intolerant. I've got less patience. I'm more irritated and annoyed by people. I'm a lot more short and curt with people. Um, I don't know. It's just that's probably how I typically am. And the booze just makes me not care because I'm usually a very happy drunk. Well, it hurt a lot of my, potential relationships. Have affected my friendships, even family. Family to a lesser degree because I come from a long line of alcoholics. That's probably the only reason, where they're used to it or we're the same. Um, but I've had a few romantic flings, over the last several years that always didn't go anywhere, and I think that was largely due to my drinking. Some people that I've met offline or online, met in real life, come hung out for a little bit, get to know me and whatnot. I think, well, first off, the myth is always bigger than the man, right? And a lot of people think that I'm like this satanic superhero that, like Superman. I go into like the Bat Cave and like come out and like, oh, you know, but I think, just the drinking, it was just a little overwhelming, or people were just, some of these women were just kind of like, well, fuck, this guy really is a drunk. He wasn't fucking joking, was he? No, I wasn't. Take a sip of my Pepsi. I know, boring, right? I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, to tell you the truth. And I'll be 40 in May, and my body can't handle it as much. And by no means is alcohol. The only thing I beat myself up with almost every fucking drug there is. Alcohol has just been the longest one, and I really don't do hard drugs anymore. Maybe on rare occasion, but honestly, I really not interested anymore. Because I've done it. I've done it so many times that it doesn't really. I'm kind of dulled. My senses are kind of dulled to hard drugs now. But the drinking has always been a constant companion, and it's been something that's become a crutch. And when you get to the point where you have to drink in order not to be sick, that's when you're fucked. That's when you have a physical dependency, and that makes it very difficult. It makes it very difficult to function, unless you're in an environment which is dangerous. I mean, I used to work in as a bartender, and that's kind of really where my drinking really started to get going. Being around people always drinking, being able to drink while I was working, shit like that. It was a bad place, a bad environment um, for an alcoholic. And then, living on the winery for a year, not really the best in place for an alcoholic either. But all that aside, yeah, I'm not really where I want to be in my life. I'm single. I'm not. I haven't raised any kids. Um, you know, um, my job situation started to turn around a little bit, but still, I mean, I am just not where I thought I would be 10 years ago. Looking forward. I mean, I've done some really cool things, like when it comes to like Satanism stuff like that. But on a personal level, for myself, I'm not really quite where I want to be, and I know a lot of that is due to my drinking. When I drink, I'm fucking lazy. That's another reason why is I can literally, if I'm sober, I can literally accomplish more than I could accomplish in a week when I was drinking, literally. And it's just because you get that drunken fucking time frame where it's like, oh yeah, let's do this later, and then you're drunk and then you don't do anything. You're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then you wake up tomorrow and you're fucking sick and hungover. It's like, oh, I'm sick and hungover. I don't want to do this. Gotta fucking start drinking some more, so kind of feel better. And you do a little bit. You do actually a lot if you're at that point. But then you're drunk, and then you're drunk like, oh, I'll do it later, and there it goes again. Um, the cycle. So that's pretty much it. I'm just tired of it. It's tired of it. It's not how I want to live my life. I know that I can do a lot more with my life. And it's no coincidence that whenever I've stopped drinking for more than a week, shit really starts to come together for me. Like my jobs start to fall into place, my relationships start to improve, stuff like that. And it's no coincidence, and it's because I improve. I feel better. I look better. I don't have the puffy face. My face isn't red. Well, it might be a little red, but that's because I've been exercising and I walk to work. It's only like a mile and a half. I live on the beach. Come on. And I'm Irish. I don't tan very well. I turn pink first. But that aside, yeah, I mean, it's just things start to come together. And as much as I like to drink, um, I like having a more productive, happy, and healthier lifestyle. And there's a lot that I still want to do that drinking was kind of holding me back from. And I want to shake the reputation of being, oh, that drunk. Not just like in my own personal life, like my personal relationships with like jobs and shit. Obviously, I want to shake that, but just my own reputation, I guess you would call it, the satanic communities for a lot of different projects that I do. That's always kind of been the hiccup. That's always kind of been the catch. Take this guy, he's got some baggage, and that's the baggage. Well, there's a lot more I want to do. There's a lot more I want to do, and I don't want to give off the impression that I'm that drunk, that I'm that loose cannon, and I was. I'm not really anymore. I mean, I still have the potential to be. I'm not saying by any means that all my problems have gone away. By no means. In fact, some problems have gone up that were unexpected. I mean, I have. I don't really have depression. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think depression to a certain extent is normal. If you're unhappy with your life, if you're lonely, your job sucks, whatever. There's good reasons to be a little bit depressed. It should be a motivation for you to get out and fucking do something about it. So I wouldn't say I'm depressed, given the circumstances that I'm in, which aren't really all that bad. But I have anxiety and insomnia, and that has really been an issue since I've stopped drinking. One thing that did really help me though is, see, I think I drank a lot to also mask these problems that were probably pre-existing, and the alcohol was a numbing agent. I just drink myself to sleep. Can't sleep? Huh. Get drunk, I'll sleep. Not very good, but I'll sleep. I'll pass out. And the anxiety, oh shit, feeling anxious, nervous, restless, irritable, you know, fucking sit down and have a fucking beer or 12. That helps. So, I've seen the doctor, and I'm on some medication ones to help reduce the urge to drink, which really does. In fact, for those of you that are watching, that may be interested, let me see here. Got fucking small pharmacy over here. the doctor, I was just real honest with them, and he gave me this stuff called naltrexone. Now, I can never pronounce this shit. Naltrexone. 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 And what that does is they give it to heroin addicts too. It says, "What's up?"
Hey, Max, I'm gonna smoke that.
1 sec, man.